I would like to encourage every Utahn to make a donation.
Governor Cox is encouraging Utahns to donate to the homeless when they file their taxes.
BYU students plan to color the campus tomorrow in an effort to show support for the LGBTQ community at the school.
I honestly don't think $300 a week would support me.
An effort to increase Utah's minimum wage does not cash out on Utah's Capitol Hill. Welcome to NewsLine. It's Wednesday, March 3rd. I'm Harley Hunsaker.
And I'm Ashley Chase. Utah's minimum wage won't be increasing anytime soon.
Megan Pickett is live in Provo. Megan, what happened to the bill to increase the minimum wage rate?
The bill to increase the minimum wage rate to $15 an hour has been postponed. But Utah Representatives Ashley Matthews and Claire Collard both have bills to raise Utah's minimum wage. About 19,000 people make minimum wage in Utah, some of whom are trying to support their families on it.
For living as a college student and making more than that, I still feel like I'm trying to save up and have enough money for school and for apartment and for just myself, supporting myself. And so I honestly don't think $300 a week would support me.
Collard says the bill she sponsored would incrementally increase Utah's minimum wage, bringing it to $15 by 2026. It would also raise tip workers' minimum wage to $5. But a House committee tabled the bill on February 25th due to concerns it would hurt the free market and small businesses. Small business owners fear raising the minimum wage could limit their ability to make a profit.
I think that's just going to drive inflation up, and it's going to put small business owners in a real big bind.
Utah has not raised the minimum wage since 2008. The proposed bill would mean a gradual increase to $11.78 by 2028 and would raise the minimum wage to $12 this July. Some think it could greatly help those struggling during this pandemic, while others think it would hurt the economy in the long run.
It's just going to cause more problems than it would solve.
Economists are divided on the impact of raising minimum wage to $15, and Utah is one of 20 states that does not require a higher minimum wage than the federal minimum wage. Collard's bill to raise minimum wage to $15 by 2026 may or may not come back for a vote in the House. And if it does not come back, the bill will likely die. But if the Utah Senate brings Collard's bill back on the table, the bill will get voted on. To keep updated on this bill, go to le.utah.gov and sign up for their updates for HB 284. Signing out for NewsLine, Provo Live, Megan Pickett.
Thanks, Megan. Police detain a person of interest in connection with a grocery store homicide in Ogden. Police say because the investigation is active and ongoing, no further information will be released right now. They want to ensure an uncompromised investigation that will allow justice for the victim and his family. This video surveillance shows the suspect approaching the counter where Satnam Singh, the owner of the super grocery, was working. The suspect fired a pistol at Singh, killing him. Police don't know what his motives were. Investigators say the suspect may be between 16 and 25 years old and are asking the public to report any information to the Ogden City Police. More than 1,000 people have signed a petition to rename the street where Singh was shot and killed after him. Members of the community are outraged and saddened by his death. A candlelight vigil was held at Super Grocery where Singh worked for almost 20 years. He was well known in the community for his friendly personality and kindness.
Tool police arrest a man for setting a dog on fire. The dog was found wandering on the side of I-80 in burnt brush. Some of the images in this story may be disturbing. 40-year-old Michael Paul Busico is in jail on charges of criminal trespass, arson, theft, and torture of a companion animal. Police say Busico stole the dog from his ex-girlfriend's home and lit it on fire. The dog sustained second and third-degree burns to its head, pelvis, hind end, belly, and mouth. The dog has been reunited with its owner and is on fluids and pain medication. After giving a search warrant, police discovered more than 2 pounds of marijuana in a Pleasant Grove home. In addition to the marijuana, police seized nearly 300 THC vape cartridges, large amounts of dab, liquid THC, large quantities of edible marijuana, and psilocybin mushrooms. Police remind residents that while medical marijuana is legal, recreational use of marijuana is still illegal in Utah, and they will enforce the law if it is violated. Meanwhile, Utah's first medical marijuana pharmacy opened this last Monday in Salt Lake City, with 2 more opening in the next 2 months in Logan and Ogden.
The bill that Paris Hilton supported to protect individuals at treatment centers in Utah heads to the Senate. The bill passed in the House yesterday. Hilton stayed at a Provo treatment center where when she was a teenager. She claims she was physically and verbally abused at the facility. Hilton testified at Utah's Capitol in favor of the legislation last month.
I cried myself to sleep every single night, praying I would wake up from this nightmare.
The bill requires stricter policies and procedures by treatment centers. Those policies include suicide prevention, prohibiting sex and gender discrimination, and other measures to physically and emotionally protect residents. Several amendments have been added to the bill in hopes that it will pass in the Senate.
A Utah girl loses her court bid to have Utah school districts create football teams for girls. A judge ruled against Sam Gordon, finding that Utah school districts aren't legally required to create a separate team for girls. Girls wanting to play football can play with the boys' team. Gordon and her father say they will continue to expand football opportunities for girls in Utah.
West Bountiful police are looking for the suspects who caused property damage to a residential property. Take a look at this video taken from a neighbor's home security camera. 3 individuals are seen getting out of a parked car, running towards the neighbor's house, and damaging the vinyl fence before driving off. If you recognize the vehicle, contact the West Bountiful Police Department at 801-292-4487.
Governor Cox encourages Utahns to donate to the Pamela Atkinson Homeless Trust Fund using their 2020 state tax form. Cox recently visited a homeless family in the Road Home Midvale Family Resource Center. The center is one of the many organizations that receives funding from the Pamela Atkinson Homeless Trust Fund.
We learn a great deal about our homeless friends just listening to them and giving them food.
The Pamela Atkinson Homeless Trust Fund assists both homeless families and individuals. The nonprofit helps with emergency services, supportive services, and housing services, including temporary shelters or transitional housing. If you want to learn more about how you can help or how to make a donation, go to jobs.utah.gov/HTF.
Many people who live in Salt Lake County felt several rumblings last night. County officials say the shaking was not from earthquake, but from Air Force jets. Hill Air Force Base is conducting training operations this month between the hours of 7 and 10 p.m. The training includes pilots going supersonic, causing sonic booms that residents can hear and feel. This training will continue until the first week of April.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is lending a helping hand to Texas ministries following the massive winter storm. The church's volunteers are helping with distribution of food and water to ministries and food banks in Houston, Texas. Shipments of 800,000 pounds of food and more than 17,000 cases of water was delivered to Texas and parts of Oklahoma. 36 trucks also left Utah with non-perishable goods bound for food banks in Dallas, Houston, and other cities in the region.
Dugway Proving Ground is preparing for the possible landing of Boeing's new Starliner spacecraft. Dugway is one of 5 landing sites selected for the spacecraft landing and will also see use for the next unmanned flight test. Boeing will be training Dugway crews for duties such as emergency medical services, firefighters, and a variety of support tasks. The training focuses on the first actions needed following a spacecraft landing. The next unmanned flight is set for the early summer.
The Clark Planetarium reopens with safety measures in place. The planetarium closed to the public in late November due to the surge in COVID-19 cases. Space is limited and reservations are required. Safety measures are in place by wearing masks and making reservations to keep the numbers low. Patrons can check out the planetarium's free exhibits from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Reservations can be made by visiting clarkplanetarium.org.
Student organizers at Brigham Young University are planning a literal show of support for their LGBTQ peers tomorrow. Color the Campus is a grassroots effort to show support for queer students at BYU. The group is encouraging people to wear rainbow colors on campus tomorrow. The demonstration is happening exactly a year after school officials clarified that same-sex romantic behavior was still against the honor code. Color the Campus's efforts promoted pushback as flyers appeared on the BYU campus Tuesday, encouraging people to carry umbrellas to campus as a counter-protest to the Color Campus.
They are dubbed pandemic puppies, dogs that were adopted during the quarantine.
Definitely have felt less lonely than a lot of people during this time.
We'll tell you about the spike in puppy adoption as well as the pros and cons that come along with a new pet during the pandemic.
Are you available for trial? It kind of looks like you're in an operating room right now.
With a patient under the knife, this California doctor showed up to traffic court to find out how the judge reacted.
Scientists discover 3 mysterious new species of sharks. We'll show you what makes these animals stand out among all the other fish in the sea.
1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother, you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, the boss's boss. If 1 in 3 adults has pre-diabetes, that means it could be you, your barber, your barber's barber.
Nice work.
Thanks.
You, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker,
On your left.
your cat jogger, or you, your co-pilot, your co-pilot's co-pilot. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org to know where you stand.
The Iraqi military says 10 missiles have slammed into an airbase that houses U.S. coalition and Iraqi forces. Check out this footage of the rocket launcher used to fire the rockets. The rockets were found more than 100 miles northwest of Baghdad. No one was killed in the attack and no damage was done. The airbase is the same one Iran attacked last year. It's not clear who carried out this latest attack. Will Smith teased he might get into politics during an interview on Pod Save America. On the episode, Smith promoted his new Netflix docuseries about the fight for equal rights in the U.S. through the lens of the 14th Amendment. When asked if he could ever consider running for political office himself, he said, quote, "I will certainly do my part, whether it remain artistic or at some point venture into the political arena."
An investigation has been launched into a plastic surgeon who attended virtual court while he was in the operating room of an ongoing surgery.
I do not feel comfortable for the welfare of a patient if you're in the process of operating that I would put on a trial, notwithstanding the fact that the officer's here today.
Dr. Scott Green showed up to traffic court to contest a traffic ticket and license plate violation while one of his patients was under the knife. The California Medical Board is investigating the incident. Dr. Green apologized during the hearing but has not commented to the media. He's expected to be back in court this Thursday. 3 shark species off the coast of New Zealand have been found to glow in the dark. For the first time, Belgian scientists were able to document the phenomenon in New Zealand's waters. One species observed, the kitefin shark, is believed to be the largest vertebrate able to produce light. The 3 shark species inhabit an area of the ocean known as the Twilight Zone, ranging from 650 to 3,000 feet deep.
It may feel like spring, but it is still winter with winter dangers.
They can happen anytime, anywhere.
We are in the middle of avalanche season. Learn the telltale signs and prepare yourself for any winter activity.
Well, hey, it's me. I'm finally going to get my vaccine.
Dolly Parton receives her COVID-19 vaccine and shares it live on social media. Hear the advice she gave to everyone after receiving her shot.
Spring fever is in the air. I'll let you know how long your winter coats can take a break.
As soon as today, the Senate could take up the $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief bill.
But some cities and states aren't waiting on the federal government. As Britt Conway tells us, they're pushing forward easing health restrictions put into place to prevent the spread of the virus.
This is not the time to relax restrictions.
But it's happening in areas around the country. Texas is rolling back everything.
Too many Texans have been sidelined from employment opportunities.
There will be a lot of businesses that are going to pull down those mask mandates.
In Mississippi, masks won't be required anymore.
This new order removes all of our county mask mandates and allows businesses to operate at full capacity.
Woohoo! I'm about done with masks.
Kentucky, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Michigan, and Pennsylvania are all easing capacity restrictions. So is the city of Chicago. South Carolina is eliminating restrictions on alcohol sales and large gatherings. And Florida is bracing for spring break. Certainly, there's optimism about the vaccines.
We're now on track to have enough vaccine supply for every adult in America by the end of May.
But health experts and healthcare workers caution against looser guidelines.
It is really risky to say it's over.
We still have COVID patients. It's not like the COVID patients are gone. It's not like they're not dying.
The federal government promises relief is coming, but lawmakers are still battling over exactly what that'll look like as millions of Americans inch closer to their extended unemployment benefits starting to run out March 14th. I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Dolly Parton's famous $1 million vaccine research donation came full circle yesterday as Dolly received her first dose.
Emily Roberts-Jones is here to tell us how the Dollyverse is reacting.
If you're like me, you're losing your mind over the video Dolly Parton posted of her getting the Moderna shot and giving us this absolute banger.
Vaccine, 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 vaccine. I'm begging of you, please don't hesitate.
The legendary singer posted her vaccination video to encourage others to get the vaccine as soon as possible. She changed the lyrics from her well-known song Jolene to vaccine. Fans are loving it. On Instagram, Dandy World Online gave us this cute collage saying, "Protect the Queen." At The One He Loves remarked on Dolly's outfit, she said, "Let me put on my vaccine blouse." At Musa Moon posted this throwback picture saying, "Dolly Parton says, get a vaccine shot or get shot." Mark Swint tweeted, "Just watch Dolly Parton get her vaccine. Doesn't even flinch. Looks the camera right in the eye while she took it." Of course, there is already some merch available. This sweet mug from Stick It Gift Shop on Instagram. Finally, at Brushing Off read my mind with this tweet, me, whenever I see Dolly Parton. After getting the vaccine, Dolly gave some advice to everyone.
So I just want to say to all of you cowards out there, don't be such a chicken squat. Get out there and get shot.
Dolly is and always has been my role model and my hero. Thanks, Dolly, for setting another unforgettable trend.
After lots of home alone time during the pandemic, many Utahns are falling in puppy love. NewsLine reporter Amy Griffin tells us the perks and the problems that come with the surge in pandemic puppies.
Thanks to the global pandemic, more people now work from home than ever, which means a spike in the number of people adopting a furry best friend. A bull run for the dog market is evident from the relatively low numbers of animals in shelters compared to pre-pandemic numbers. Independent data tracker Shelter Animal Count says that shelter euthanasia dropped nearly 50% in 2020. For some, adopting a dog makes the loneliness of pandemic life easier to deal with.
Definitely have felt less lonely than a lot of people during this time.
But new puppy owners the Maxfields find that adopting isn't all sunshine and rainbows.
It's just a lot of learning and training ourselves to train him.
Young dogs need socialization to develop properly, but because of the unique circumstances of the pandemic, they're not learning how to be alone. As we move towards a life after lockdown, dogs may not adjust well, and some could develop separation anxiety. This could lead to problem behaviors that owners aren't equipped to handle.
It's my hand.
The Humane Society expects a significant spike in surrenders following the pandemic. The Maxfields themselves had to reluctantly surrender a shelter dog for behavioral issues before adopting their puppy.
I don't think it's stopped us from wanting to adopt another dog from a shelter.
And the Maxfields have a word for anyone considering adopting a dog.
All about training and teaching and being patient with them.
For those like me who have taken in a furry family member over the past year, trainers recommend allowing your dog to socialize with other canines frequently. They also recommend getting your dog used to staying home alone. In Provo, I'm Amy Griffin, reporting for NewsLine.
Thanks, Amy.
Even though it feels like spring, avalanches are still happening. NewsLine reporter Sierra Isasaga tells us where these avalanches could happen and how to stay safe. Sierra?
You might not think an avalanche will happen here, but after this, you might just change your mind.
It's a common belief to think avalanches only happen at high elevations when there is tons of snow. But the truth is,
They can happen anytime, anywhere. Where there is snow, there's always a potential for avalanches, not just at the very high elevations. They can happen down low.
So then how can we stay safe when we go sledding? Or when we go hiking, skiing, or snowmobiling? According to search and rescue team member Corey Clough, the biggest safety tip is to know before you go. But what does knowing before you go actually mean? What is it that we need to know, and how can we know it?
Know the conditions. Calling the hotlines, checking the Utah Avalanche Forecasting Center. They've got a Facebook page, an Instagram page.
But just because those sources say conditions are good, it doesn't mean you're in the clear just yet.
If you're gonna go, up on a snowmobile and you're gonna be up, 10, 20 miles in the backcountry, you should probably have a plan. If you break down, are you prepared to spend the night? Do you have food, water, clothing, potentially, a way to make shelter and a fire?
Another thing you can do is look for signs in the area for safety tips and reminders. This is one sign found in Tibble Fork Reservoir. It reminds people to use an avalanche transceiver.
If you look on it, it says send and search. And so anytime that I'm going out in the backcountry, I flip that up to send.
Flipping the avalanche transceiver to send causes the device to send out a signal that another avalanche transceiver will pick up. It's like a personal tracker in case you get lost or stuck. Flipping it to send also causes the device to beep, hence the sign, "Are you beeping?"
Things like that are pretty basic, but they've saved lives.
So remember, know before you go, or know the weather conditions before you go, and bring extra food and water just in case you get stuck, because an avalanche could happen anywhere. I'm Sirius Saga reporting for NewsLine in Utah County.
Here's a rude awakening for folks in Lackawanna County, Pennsylvania. Wind took down this tree, totaling the truck underneath it and damaging 2 other vehicles and a home in its path. Wind gusts were over 30 miles per hour along Route 524. Winds brought down phone and cable lines. People living along the route lost power Monday evening and spent much of the day without electricity or heat. Fortunately, their road should be finished clearing today so traffic can get through. And fortunately for us, Utah doesn't look anything like that right now. Right now, we've got just gorgeous views, clouds coming in and out. Right now, skies are clear. We've got a few skiers coming in and out of town, but over the next few days, it's gonna get a little warmer, so maybe skiing shouldn't be on your to-do list. We can take a look at today's temperatures. Super warm, super lovely. Spring is in the air. We've got Logan 54 and 29, Salt Lake and Provo up in the 60s, not even touching freezing overnight. Wendover 56, 32, Vernal 51, 28. Similar down south until we get to Moab 66, 38, Blanding 59, 33. St. George getting up into the 70s, 73 and 49. Southern Utah, look at this, all of these 70-degree weather. We're not even seeing the 30s anymore for our lows. It's looking glorious. A little bit of clouds at the end, and other than that, lots of sunlight. Northern Utah, we're going to be seeing a little dance with the clouds, and again, up into the 60s, 30s and 40s for the close. It's looking great this weekend. So get out and go enjoy the sunlight.
When you think of Miami, you think of, rich, glamour, but 5 miles away from the beach, there's people who've never seen the beach. I was confused why somebody was in this situation, especially in America. So when I started Joshua's Heart Foundation, it was a key thing to be able to engage youth in the foundation, to help them participate. I think passing on the torch and lighting a new flame in another person to do good is probably one of the bigger missions that I have. So we are each making a bigger difference. That's it, just giving back and producing love for everybody.
Your son wants to get a cat, but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B. Make the best of it.
C squared equals 25. Good job.
Or C. Find a loophole. When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the King Kong banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can beat the war, you could talk to God, go banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks, you can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Stand in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be a champion. Be a champion on the walls of the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah, yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Toaster in the beer.
Sandwich lovers across the country are celebrating National Cold Cuts Day today.
And that includes me. Can't wait until lunchtime. National Cold Cuts Day is a day to celebrate all of the lunch, deli, and sandwich meats that so many people love, except for vegetarians, of course. Every nationality has a different twist when it comes to seasoning, curing, and aging of a variety of meats. To celebrate, have yourself a sandwich or snack and share it on social media with the hashtag National Cold Cut Day.
I actually got you a sandwich.
You're kidding.
Thought we could eat them to celebrate
How
National
did you
Cold
know?
Cut
Italian
Day.
pesto. I love pesto on my sandwiches, guys. I'm obsessed with pesto.
So good.
Oh, my goodness.
I love cold cuts, love Jimmy John's, Jersey Mike's, all of the above.
Thanks for joining us today for Newsline, and make sure to celebrate Cold Cuts Day. I just love Jimmy John's.